we go, folks. This is me calling the Ombudsman to report this heinous movement to oppress me. Here we go. I wonder what excuses I'll come up with. I'm not going to identify myself until such time as I explain it all first. So it's call our team on. They've already rejected me, by the way. 02 6276. I'm a bit numbered, dyslexic. 62763 377. Okay, I'll be very succinct. Oh, I've got the number wrong. Hang on. 02 6276 3777. Okay.
Thank you for calling about the public interest disclosure scheme. We will be with you shortly.
I guess I'll just wait. Put this off for a second. Where are we? We're back in a minute.
Thank you for your patience. We apologise for the delay. Please hold the line.
Based on our current call volumes, the current wait time is approximately 2 minutes.
Two minutes, I can wait that. Let's see if it comes through.
Did you know that we have information about the public interest disclosure scheme on our website at ombudsman.gov.au? From our website, you can access relevant legislation, fact sheets, and guides for disclosures and agencies. You can also email us at pid@ombudsman.gov.au or write to the Public Interest Disclosure Team at GPO Box 442, Canberra, ACT 2601.
You are currently the first caller in the queue.
Well, I look forward to talking to them.
All our staff are still busy attending to other calls. Please stay on the line. We hope to be with you shortly.
You can request an automatic callback, which enables you to leave a message that will retain your position in the queue. We'll call you back once your callback has reached the front of the queue. key during these announcements.
We apologize for the delay in answering your call. Please hold. An agent will be with you shortly.
Thank you for your call. All our staff are busy attending to other calls. Please stay on the line and we'll be with you shortly.
You are currently the first caller in the queue.
Thank you for your patience. We apologize for the delay. Please hold the line.
Remember, if you wish to request a callback, you may press the star key at any time during these announcements.
You are currently the first caller in the queue.
I don't reckon they're going to answer.
Did you know that we have information about the public interest disclosure scheme on our website at pid.ombudsman.gov.au? From our website, you can access relevant legislation, fact sheets, and guides for disclosures and agencies. You can also email us at pid@ombudsman.gov.au or write to the Public Interest Disclosure Team at GPO Box 442, Canberra, ACT 2601.
You are currently the first caller in the queue.
our staff are still busy attending to other calls. Please stay on the line. We hope to be with you shortly.
Remember, if you wish to request a callback, you may press the star key at any time during these announcements.
You are currently the first caller in the queue.
Commonwealth Ombudsman, Marty speaking.
Oh, good morning, Marty. How are you going today?
All right, how about you?
Oh, I've been under a bit of distress, and that's the reason I'm calling today. I'm just ringing up to make a public interest disclosure.
Okay, just a moment, because the PID has come through to the complaints line.
Yeah, well, that's an issue with me calling you guys because my number's identified. I'm under investigation and I'm banned from making a statement. So I'd really appreciate it if you could maybe put me through to someone who can record my my verbal statement. You know.
Okay, sorry, your name again?
If it's okay, because I've already been rejected from the Ombudsman on many occasions, I'd prefer not to say my name until I get to a person I can report to. Is that okay? Because I do believe that I will be cut off.
Okay, just one moment, please.
Thank you. I knew they'd cut me off. Ugh.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I had to speak with my supervisor.
Oh, that's okay.
All I can do at this point in time is leave a message for the PID team.
Because I won't give my name.
No, because I can't transfer to the PID team at this time. All I can.
I have called the PIP number.
Yeah, and like I said, it came through to the complaints line.
Well, what's the complaints line? Like, I mean, I really desperately need to get some traction today with the Ombudsman's office, and I've got you on the phone now. Is there any way I can possibly make a PID with anyone?
I can take down the details as required, but I don't record the phone call.
Oh, okay. Well, could I speak to you then?
Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah. What's your name, darling?
My name's Marty.
Marnie.
Yep, Marty. M-A-R-T-Y.
Oh, Marty. Sorry, Marty. I cut out there for a minute. Look, I prefer not to get... Now, are you an official person that can take a complaint?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. Okay, great. So you're an official person at the Ombudsman's office who can take a complaint. Okay. I'd prefer to say my name at the end. I hope that's okay because I am the victim of an elaborate government conspiracy. And that's already, well, it's killed me. I say killed me because I've survived a suicide attempt, but I was only found by accident and revived. So now I lived with a brain injury, you know. So it's a conspiracy to pervert the course of justice, and it's an absurd, almost unbelievable amount of victimisation that I've had to suffer, and I'm reporting it today, and I'm following the guidelines from your website. It says you can disclose information that you believe on reasonable grounds to show wrongdoing within an Australian government agency. So I'll go back a few years. I had a complaint with a GP that I simply wanted an acknowledgement from, and I protected the doctor. I actually had a recording of the consultation in which I said I was suicidal, and he actually gave me the stuff to overdose on. So I mean, I wanted an acknowledgement that had happened because later my memory's really bad. When I found the suicide note, I thought that was something to bring up. So the following institutions and organisations within government silenced that evidence, even though it's permissible under the Surveillance Act. So there was the Health Complaints Commissioner silenced it, APRA silenced it, and then that took years, and they watched me become unwell, and then they rejected me. So I took it to NHP OPC, who investigate APRA, and they were supposed to do an independent review, and they also silenced the very legitimate evidence that was before, which would have clearly showed medical malpractice and professional negligence. And as well as that, there was the police, they covered it up. The Maribyrnong Criminal Investigations Unit, they put it aside. I then complained to IBAC that the police didn't investigate it properly, and IBAC continued to kick the can down the road and didn't value or validate that evidence because it was protecting those with power and privilege against me, who was a suicidal person. And I'm pretty sure, like I'm absolutely sure, that the movement is to actually kill me by proxy before I get justice by making it so hard I kill myself. So that's the first bit. You there?
Yes, I'm listening. I'm just typing up your case.
Oh, thanks. The Mental Health Complaints Commissioner and the Health Complaints Commissioner both rejected the information and the recording. So all these people have, and they've also taken advantage of a person with a disability because I was on a pension, and I didn't have the knowledge to go through the legal process, and I tried. Now this is where it gets interesting, because every lawyer that I've tried for the last 20 years, I've never got anywhere. I didn't know why, and now I've found out that you can actually be barred from, you know, people can speak behind doors. There might be a file on you or something, that you can't get a lawyer anywhere, anytime, for whatever reason. Now, as well as that, the medical centre covered it up. The people at APRA, who investigated this thing, said I could provide evidence in another way because the recording wasn't legitimate. I didn't know it actually was. So I provided a transcript, and the GP's lawyer, Mr. Ball from Ball and Partners, when I got the freedom of information a long time later, he printed it out, scribbled on it, and said it was inconsistent with the recording and not to use it. So I'm fighting for years and years, and all of these institutions are watching me become incredibly distressed. I have a public profile of someone with schizophrenia, and I've spoken in Parliament, all the Today shows, all that kind of stuff. So I'm a person with a public profile. And they all watched me become unwell and distressed. This is a very familiar thing that I've gone through. And they all watched as I, became suicidal. And I'd say to the police, like, I feel less than death, now that you've rejected me. And they would just leave it. And I think in the hope that I would kill myself. Anyway, so the police run it. I've been banned from the federal police. I've actually been banned from contacting the federal police through through their website. It's actually blocked in the IP from me. And actually, in actual fact, my computer's hacked as well. And I'll go into that in a minute. So all of those institutions silenced the very legitimate evidence and watched me as I became suicidal. You got that bit so far? Yep. So I wanted to say all this may be underpinned. I'm trying to find ways by which this has affected me. Now, I was engaged to my former partner 5 years ago, and he was a multimillionaire and he worked for ASIO. Now, I didn't know a lot about his work, but I knew a lot about the ins and outs of David Irvine and, the transgender receptionist and other people in the department. I know it was a legitimate thing and that he worked there. David Irvine actually went to my exhibition, which was funny because I used to believe years ago that the secret police were after me, and now they were going to my show. So God's got a sense of humour. Anyway, so my former partner worked there, and there is a huge injustice here because I spent my nest egg on him, and as a discrimination of someone with a disability, he kept me financially and sexually coerced for 5 years. So I want to report this. I did receive a DSP for some of the time I was in the relationship, but he said to me to keep accepting it because our marriage was not legitimate. So he said keep the money. So I did, but to my defence, I actually declared it. Now, while I was with him, he sold a house worth $1.2 million and invested the money in an offshore tax haven. I have tried to report this to police many times, but the police won't listen. So that's another issue. I've had problems with all the police. I am banned from reporting crime. Now, my former partner, I said I wanted a conciliation and mediation with many times, but he's actually threatened a hitman on me. So in actual fact, he left me homeless, and I was squatting with his dying dog to look after, and he escaped with over $1 million in superannuation because he was on $400,000 a year and whatever. And in addition to that, I've been banned from lawyers flat out. So I actually have no capacity to get that money back. Or to, he's absolutely dominated me. And I wonder if, that's a source of this persecution, So I called AGIS under a pseudonym. And AGIS listened to me, and I told them about his crimes and the additional crime that I can't report to police, that he was present at a murder at Collingwood Flats. And there was 3 of them, and there was a gun, and it was a drug deal gone wrong. And his dog's name was Chopper, because he knew Chopper Reed. And so all these crimes, I'm unable to report to police, as well as the discrimination and the coercion and the violence. But he actually stole my car as well, just to put that on top. Now, the tax department have let him off because, rich people look after rich people. and he got just a slap on the wrist and avoided jail time. And he was blackmailing me to put me in jail for Centrelink fraud. But I've actually told Centrelink about this, and they won't do anything about it, because if they come and get me, that means I'll have to go and get him. So Centrelink are actually another agency that are in on this, because I've told them explicitly, I said, come and get me, I have committed fraud. And so they threaten to, but they won't do it because I was the one who dobbed in the relationship trying to legitimately make it legal, and my former partner was the money-hungry, narcissistic one who told me to go back on it. And then he left me as he exhausted every cent I had and left me homeless, and literally threatened a hitman and robbed me of at least $500,000. So right now, I have no food. I don't have medication that I need. I've survived a suicide. We'll go into that in a minute. And I don't have a neurologist. And I need one because I can't think. I've written all this down so I can say it succinctly, you know. Are you with me?
Yep, I'm listening.
Yep. Centrelink, I went to hospital and tried to kill myself and was accidentally found, but we'll go into that in a minute. Centrelink, after the suicide attempt, put a known mentally ill person who had been on a pension for about 15 years, and I'd literally just survived a suicide, and I was on sick leave from work anyway. They put me on Job Seeker. Now, this was a methodology to kind of kick me in the head, you know, kick me when I'm down. I better go into the suicide thing now, because that was real. This is a really pertinent thing. Now, all this is happening over here. Oh, I want to tell you one other thing first. So, I had a my own child sexual abuse case, and it was it took there was this place called yourlawyer.com.au, and it took them over 3 years and 5 different lawyers to get it in front of a magistrate. Now, I think that was pretty poor, because I was guaranteed that I would be heard and believed, and look, I was extremely distressed, and they knew it, and they kept putting limitations on when I could call back, and it took 3 years before that got in front of a magistrate. So it got in front of the magistrate, and they rang me up, the yourlawyer.com.au, the people from there, and I can name all these people, and they said, it didn't work, they've just kicked it out. And I said, well, what do you mean? I was so distressed, you know. And the methodology of this movement, I don't know why, is to kill me. And that lawyers agency watched me become distressed and suicidal from the non-validation of child sexual abuse over 3 years. And then when they got the result from the magistrate, they didn't even give me a result, like a physical result, a letter. They just told me on the phone. Like, that's illegal. So I contacted the place that that investigates law firms with illegal stuff, and I don't know, lawyers investigating lawyers. I just didn't know what to do. So, but those people said, "Oh no, you're not a client of theirs anymore, so it doesn't matter." Now, this was planned because once I was out of time, I literally had no evidence that the magistrate even heard it. So I begged the magistrate at Geelong Magistrates Court to please provide an outcome, and so she wrote to me, and she just said a basic letter in a PDF, and you have no, I couldn't believe it. She said, "You were doomed to fail from the start." Now, I didn't understand what this meant, but that's a fairly dramatic and colourful language, and very simplistic for a suicide survivor. I mean a sexual abuse survivor. Now, this had highly distressed me throughout my whole life, and I'd come to name it only in my 40s. I always knew what it was, but I guess to just objectively call that, you know, and make a report, it was very distressing, and they witnessed me become suicidal. And they just obliterated me, you know. It was a whole lot of effort for nothing, you know. So I'll try and be quick because it's a bit involved. I was working as a registered therapeutic support for the NDIS, and I ran my own business. And one of my clients was a child incest and rape survivor. Now, over 2 years, I, in my mind, collected his story and wrote it down in a narrative for the purpose of his VOCAT case. Now, with my VOCAT cases, they both fell over. So my sexual abuse case, that fell over. And I had another VOCAT case where I was involved in a violent affray where I saved a person. It was videotaped, and they pinned it on me. And I said, well, this is ridiculous, because I was the one at the end with broken bones and blood all over me, and I did the report, you know, and the criminals ran off. I was hospitalised, when VOCAT got back to me, they said I was the principal aggressor and I was to blame. And I said, well, this is ridiculous. There's a video of the event. So I asked the OAIC for the evidence of the video, and they refused to give it to me. So now I've got probably a police report or police profile. I know I'm profiled somewhere. I just can't imagine all this would happen via coincidence. But anyway, as I was working in my role as an NDIS registered therapeutic support, what had happened was that I couldn't face work because that day I'd been copying a lot of abuse from my client, and I had put measures in place to stop me from being stressed, like he couldn't call or text me and that kind of stuff. So I never put myself in danger. But I just, that day, my VOCAT recording came in the mail. And I just thought, if that's cooked and the other one's cooked and everything seems cooked, what am I even doing the VOCAT case for my client? Are they going to even believe that because I'm systemically oppressed and victimised because I made a complaint? So that was one reason I didn't go to work, and the other reason was I didn't want to jeopardise his VOCAT case. Now, this goes on to another issue and this is the point where I left work. I left work and I applied on the 22nd of January in 2021. So nearly a year ago. Now, I applied for income assist with HCF. I thought I'll take a break from work, settle some things down and then get back to it. What had happened was I became so distressed because Centrelink put me on Job Seeker. That was $255 a week, and my rent alone is $390 a week. So I couldn't afford to exist. And then HCF rejected my claim, and I put in a work cover claim. And both HCF and the work cover claim have not been resolved yet. HCF say that it's a prior illness. That wasn't the case. I left work. In addition to that, they're being incorrect, I emailed Sheena Jack, the CEO of HCF, because I've actually been banned from calling them or contacting them. And I have confirmed that I am under investigation by them. But anyway, so work cover kept on going, and they kept kicking the can down the road at Comcare, which is the national insurer. And as for work's concerned, I am an employee of the NDIA. So I've become incredibly distressed financially, right? I'm already a marginalised person because of the sexual abuse and the systemic oppression that I'd had for so many years, as well as public humiliation and vilification, that kind of stuff. But I wanted to say that I additionally became financially distressed because HCF refused to pay me, and AFCA. Now this brings in a new thing. The Australian Financial Complaints Authority had acted in cohesion with me not getting any prosperity with HCF. So I know this because I text them both in the same email and begged them and showed them a picture of my dog. I'm kind of that kind of stupid, you know. But anyway, they hold on to, even today, 2.5 years after the fact, determinations worth over $1 million. Now, they could easily have acknowledged this by now, but they are acutely aware that I've told them I'm destitute, I have no food, I have no healthcare, I have no money, I'm squatting, as I am now, and I have no agency to complain to police. And I've been rejected whistleblower status from people. So I'm cooked on all levels. So to this day, AFCA have blackmailed me to cancel all of my determinations if I do so much as contact them by email or phone. So I've had to appoint different people to act on my behalf. But the trouble with that is I can't find someone knowledgeable enough or wide enough thinking to acknowledge the whole picture and try and get these things to happen. Because in actual fact, I've been so framed and vilified just for making a complaint, and I'm an extortionist and all these other things, that even my own family have turned against me. I'm both an NDIS provider and a participant, and the NDIS have blanket rejected all of my claims for the last, say, 3 months, about $15,000. So, and now Plan Partners are the people that are my go-to person. They have rejected 42 invoices. They told me that there is a blanket ban from the NDIA, and in addition, I don't have a local area coordinator, which is a given for anyone on the NDIS. So I asked the NDIS, and I begged the NDIS to pay my emergency rent accommodation, of which I have funding, and of which is a legitimate thing. But they refused to. In actual fact, they were aware because my landlord had sent a letter saying he's going to evict me 2 days before Christmas if I don't pay. And they went through with that, knowing I would be absolutely desecrated, and I begged them for a plan review, but that's not till nearly April. So, are you with me?
Yep, I'm listening and I'm typing up your notes.
Okay. So I was distressed at that point, and I thought I was thinking about the injustice of the former partner thing, because I'd been scared to act before, and I actually got a intervention order from the court, but they refused to give it to me. So he has access to me now. So the court, even though he'd threatened a hitman on me, refused to put a block on him. Anyway, I tried to get a lawyer, but instead of finding a lawyer to fight my legitimate justice concerns, my ill understanding family decided to hospitalise me. Now, family is an important part of anyone's life, but mine have been they're prejudiced, they're homophobic, they don't understand the complexities of my life. Now, when they saw me posting some stuff online, the CAT team came, and I'm like, what? I'm inside having a beer, mate, you know. And they said I was psychotic, and they said I had delusions of persecution and I need to go to hospital. I go, I'm not delusional. And just for the record, I recorded that. I recorded them coming to my house because I knew it would be a litigious thing. And I said to them, I'm not ill. I go, there is a conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. And I want to say to you explicitly now, all this is adding up and rendering a conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. And it is also a heinous way of victimising one singular person by local, state and federal agencies across the government. And so I said to them, I'm not paranoid, like this is actually happening. They go, just come down for a talk. So anyway, I go, well, I don't want to come. I'm inside having a cider with my dog. But they forced me to. Now, whilst in hospital, I was 4 days in, they treated me so bad though. And one of the doctors there, Dr. Kumar, I actually saw 11 years prior to that, and he knew of my partner and ASIO, and at the time he told me to call the police if I feel a danger. So they absolutely are 100% aware that this so-called conspiracy has some legs, right? So they take me in there, they change all my medication and dope me up on all this mind-numbing stuff. The most important thing in my life is my dog. I don't trust people because I've been deceived so much. And my family had just deceived me, and in addition didn't believe me about my child sexual abuse because, you know, I'm crazy and extort people for money. And in addition to that, I was treated so bad and I was so whacked on their medication and denied the medication my antidepressants that I needed, that it was so distressing being in there with all those crazy people. So I actually thought, I've proven beyond a reasonable doubt that no one cares for me and no one understands. And now I am very grossly aware of what's happening to me, and they're destroying me. And I thought, I'm destroyed. Somewhere in my confusion, I thought it would be a good idea to leave the planet. So I tried to find something. I first got a broken toilet brush, but then I got the glass bit from my vape pen, and I severed an artery and bled out on the toilet floor. It's not a very pleasant way to go. But anyway, look, it was the Freedom of Information says that the suicide was a fatal injury and a lethal attempt. I would be dead if I was not accidentally found. I want to say that explicitly. I have the evidence. Now, I'm very distressed about that because, you know, I found it in myself the love and forgiveness to write a suicide note and forgive everyone, and then I went. However, after that, I was treated so bad. Like, I was rejected. Well, first of all, it contravenes a whole lot of rights, human rights law. You can't literally die in a hospital because they covered it up. The hospital covered it up. They banned me. The Health Complaints Commissioner, again, covered it up. The Mental Health Complaints Commissioner, they had a person who was working for them who was supposed to acknowledge my complaint. Meanwhile, all this time, APRA and HCF and WorkCover, they're all destroying me, right, in a financial way. and my former partner is rejecting everything that I throw at him. So this is a movement that is across the board, you know, and I try and legitimately raise my concerns about my ill treatment and what I call a conspiracy to murder. Because in actual fact, when I was released from hospital, it was deemed correct. I wasn't psychotic. I wasn't delusional. This is actually real. And for want of a better purpose, other than a legal purpose to have me in there, they named it adjustment disorder. Now, they only did that because they had to put something down. So, further to that, HCF have refused to pay me. Work cover refused to pay me. The Mental Health Complaints Commissioner investigating my complaint got a response from the hospital, but refused to send it to me until it went past the bank of their lawyers. And so I caught them out as double agents acting in favour of people in positions of privilege and power, because I was going to sue the hospital. Now, when I left the hospital, it was against hospital regulations because I was squatting, no job, no car, no food. This is the conditions under which they left me go from hospital. In that time, since March 2021 until now, I believe I have a because I can't remember anything and my brain goes from one thing next and then I go to the next. I'm not the same. I've researched it and I believe that I have got a memory problem and thought processes problem from the entire loss of my blood, which has affected the hippocampus, which is the research I've read. Now, in that entire time since March, I can't remember the date, 2021, I have barely had a GP. I have not had a psychologist. I have not had a psychiatrist, and I have never had my brain injury assessed. In addition to that, I have never had my feet assessed because since that suicide, I cannot feel my feet. I literally can't feel my feet. Am I crazy? Like, is this possible this can happen to a person? Anyway, so I complained to the Ombudsman about this abuse of human rights and the contravening of human law and the fact that they treated me bad, misdiagnosis, malpractice, negligence. The Ombudsman, Ben Calder, condoned this as nothing to see. Now, I believe I am systemically oppressed from right up high. I think it may have to do with my former partner, or it is from prejudice or discrimination, or that I've been framed as an extortionist. I don't know how, but I don't know how an ombudsman can say it's okay that were accidentally found and revived from certain death. I don't know how that's even possible. Are you with me?
Yep, I'm listening.
Yeah, and so are you writing down the notes or you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the hospital CEO Dave Stevenson, who has to this day rejected the medication I need, and Saltwater Clinic is the service which I went to, and in 10 whole months since that suicide attempt, I only saw a psychiatrist twice. Once was abysmal, and the second time was officially kicked me off. So that's pretty poor. And then, yeah, what happened then? Hang on, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, hang on, just bear with me. Yeah, so that's right. Dave Stevenson, the CEO of the hospital, I'd kindly and compassionately offered a conciliation, which was going to be small and a mere acknowledgement that that event had happened. And I explained it in those terms. He got back to me with a personal email direct to me that because the movement, I call it the movement, not the conspiracy, because people think I'm mad, because the movement know I can't complain to police or go to police or IBAC, they're absolutely complicit with their comfort in desecrating me with impunity. So he emailed me after hearing the Ombudsman condoned it and said, if you want to litigate against me, do it against me personally as my role as the CEO. But the thing is, I can't go to police and I can't get a lawyer anywhere because I'm literally banned from the whole system, you know. So right there is, I mean, how much is killing yourself in a hospital worth? But in actual fact, it says it was a fatal, like it was lethal. If I wasn't found, I would be dead. But people are so complicit with how much they can get away with because they have money, privilege and power that they are just desecrating me. And I could sue the hospital for that, easy. But I'm powerless. Do you know what I mean? So, anyway, further after I got out of hospital, and this is all happening, not one person in the world standing up for me. I don't understand why. I'm like, are you with me? Like I've just tried to kill myself. And I think through just people's implicit stigma or prejudice, they began to turn me away. My sister on my birthday said, you're a schizo and a druggo and get the fuck out of our lives. I've never heard from her since. I begged my dad, because I knew he would, reject me. I beg you to reject me. This is what I said on Facebook. And he sent me the number for Brotherhood of St. Lawrence to get a box of potatoes. Now, these are people, coincidentally, 2 days after I survived my suicide and I was in the ICU, my abuser died. And my whole family went to his funeral. And that to me is a real awful way to kick someone when they're down, you know. I understand they knew the person for 50 years or 60 years, but they didn't even make a half apology to acknowledge that this would hurt me. Anyway, that's not a legal thing. So further to that, I had talked to Micron 21, a business that hosted my website, richmclean.com.au. I know I've just told you who I am. Sorry. You're not going to hang up on me, are you?
No.
Oh. And I had a website which I'd worked on for over 20 years. It was my art and advocacy website. It's where I got my NDIS clients. It's where I ran my business from. It's where I held my records. And it's where I had evidence for what I was collecting for this movement to desecrate me. And I got an email out of the blue saying, get this, it's so funny. I get a laugh sometimes. They accused me of being conspiratorial because I had evidence that my passwords were changed and people were accessing my emails and my computer. So without warning, the manager sent me an email and they said, you're being conspiratorial, our staff doesn't need it, and good luck with your court case. I've intentionally gone out of my way to delete your websites, your emails, that was 20 years worth, and all backups. You're no longer a customer. I've blocked your email and number. Thank you and goodbye. Now, as a person used to abuse, this was another level. Because not only were they attacking me in the pocket and desecrating me, the only things I owned in the world were my dog, a bed, a computer, and my data. And now, they'd intentionally destroyed it, as well as acknowledging good luck with your court case, knowing full well they abused my intellectual property, they deleted my copyright. I needed all that evidence so I could do my audit for the NDIS so I could get back to work. That was gone. People who had died who I was grief-stricken by, I had their photos on there. Now, apart from this being my business and also my ABN, I must be stupid. I went to business.gov.au to report that I'd been destroyed and they didn't want anything to do with it. So they said, go to the Small Business and Family Ombudsman. I went to business.vic.gov.au, but they didn't help. They said to go there too. So I went there, and the Small Business and Family Ombudsman refused to interject in the, I'll say, utter desecration of my digital identity, because that had to do with MyGov, with banks, with everything I logged into. You know what your email's like. It's like your it's your ticket to everything online. And that email was gone, as well as all the evidence that I had. That's destroying evidence before a court. It's intentionally desecrating someone with impunity. I tried to call lawyers about it. No one would hear it. I went to the Ombudsman. I went to the Telecommunications Industry Ombudsman. I went to Copyright. I've been rendered a neutral, voiceless, vagrant and refugee in my own democracy. That's what's happened. It's not just one agency. It's not just one injustice. It must be because I'm spectacularly framed with, I don't know, some taboo thing. Why is this even happening to me? Like, I'm not an idiot. I know I got a feeling in my gut something was wrong, and I started recording things. And I've got a lot of evidence. And I've got all the rejection letters from IBAC and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm trying to be a whistleblower, right? Because all this is just not. This is not right. I'm a failed whistleblower at APRA. Oh, I'm also bankrupt. I mean, I shouldn't have been bankrupt because I was a multimillionaire on paper. But I've been blacklisted, and I've been... all of these organisations are sitting back, and they're silently and with much delight watching me be destroyed, and they are, by proxy, aiding and abetting my death, because evidence shows I've already killed myself twice. And if you get a vulnerable person, take all their family, take all their friends, take all their money, desecrate them in every way, take their data, destroy their life, you're probably going to kill them, right? There is this movement that exists in society which is bigger than... I don't even know how it even works. But it has one goal. That is to aid and abet my death by suicide, by proxy, not directly, although I have had death threats right outside this window, and I'm in my bedroom now. And someone has come up to me and said, we'll fucking kill ya, you know, dirty faggot, blah, blah, blah. I was so distressed. I'm distressed anyway. I think I'm pretty resilient, and I've got thick skin, or I may be very determined. I don't know what, but I'm still alive, even though I've got a brain disorder. I don't even... how would I know? I mean, I know, because I can't think. But I live under surveillance. I live with no rights. My voice has been destroyed. I can't get litigation. I've been banned from that. I'm a multi-millionaire on paper. And I believe there's some hitmen who, once I'm effectively isolated, they will kill me. And I can't report that to police. That's not right.
Okay, so I'm going to have to start winding it up here, simply because there are other people in the queue who also need to speak with me. So all I can do at this point in time is let the PID team know that you have attempted to contact them without any success.
But I thought the success was talking to you.
We haven't been able to successfully contact the PID team, but like I said, I've jotted down everything that you've said, and all I can do is forward it onto the PID team. I am not in the right team to be able to assist you.
I really wish you had have told me this at the start of the conversation, because I rang up today, the PIP number, and I believe that my number has been blocked because I have already been a failed whistleblower at the Ombudsman, and I have already gone to Michaelia Cash, who oversees the Ombudsman's office, and I told her all this, and she gave me the number to the sane helpline. So I actually believe that this was cooked from the start, and I actually believe that my number was identified, and you haven't even asked my name yet. So how are you going to pass on this message?
Because I've got your phone number, it came up.
But I blocked my number from it showing up.
0459717690.
No, you're just making it up. Say it again.
0459717690.
That's absolutely not my number. What do you think my name is?
You haven't told me, and you said you weren't going to tell me.
No, I said I was Well, you said you were... So after I told you all that, you're not going to pass on my name to someone. That's not my number. Can I please tell you my number and my name?
Yes, please.
0400 639 248.
And your name, please?
Dr. Richard McLEAN.
Okay, so I will pass this on to the PID team, and I will ask them to contact you if they require any further information.
That sounds like one big delay and defer and not get Richard any justice, and you are a legal statutory government authority that is responsible for investigating a PID.
But I can't investigate a PID, I'm not authorised to.
Well, how much data did you take down?
I jotted down everything as you were talking.
Jotted down, okay. Can I just sum this up very quickly? There's also other public officials: Greg Hunt, Katie Hall, Bill Shorten, Mark Latham, Andrew Bant. Look, I'm rich. I had so much else to tell you, but look, what's your name again, please? Marty. Okay. Look, I'm going to send a snapshot of this conversation. Where do I send it to, please?
Ombudsman at ombudsman.gov.au.
.gov.au. Because I actually think that you're not going to acknowledge me. And I think that's really, really corrupt. And if that ever got to the Australian public, there would be outrage. Because, I mean, if the simple case was I had cancer and I wasn't treated with chemo, there would be fucking outrage. And because I'm...
Okay, you've started using profanity.
Oh, sorry.
Once again, I am going to terminate the call.
Thank you for listening to me and passing on that information.
Okay? I told you I will pass the information on to the PID team, and I will leave it to them to action. That is all I can do for you today. Like I said, I will get them to give you a ring, but if you don't mind, I have other people in the queue waiting for my assistance.
Okay, just one... Oh, she hung up. And that, my friends, is how you absolutely frame, maim, shame, blame, ostracise, and deny someone justice and aid and abet their death.